Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Seth, aka King the Conqueror, aka uh, the High Evolutionary, aka the King of Hell. Yes, that's right, I said it. Um, Prince of Darkness, and all that good stuff. So, anyways, a lot of people are still being bamboozled by. Oh, by the way, thank you for the recent support on my last videos. It's been great. I feel like I have a lot of views, and I know that the views are gonna keep going up. So I kind of like the amount of views that I have right now. I'm not gonna lie. Now the problem, I still have a problem with people not really making an effort to communicate with me. That's still kind of weird, especially after fucking 3 years of doing this shit. But regardless, thank you anyways. I still feel I have two subjects as we're gonna talk about. This is a good segue because we need to talk about me for a minute. And once I get into the subject, you will understand. But I will start off by saying that people are still bamboozled by what's going on in the media. People are still being bamboozled by what's going on in the media, and it's like there's no stopping it. It's like there's no stopping it, man. I am aware that of the storms that these people keep sending at us and stuff like that. Now you might be wondering, well, why doesn't he send his tsunami? Because I don't want them to learn how to do the tsunami. I think the storm is bad enough, and if they have the power to create tsunamis, that would make things a lot worse. So that's why I don't send tsunamis all the fucking time, because that's the thing about curses. The more you send a curse to a person, the more likely that person will learn how to do the curse, and then you're fucked. And then you're donezo. You know what I mean? So, how do you think I learned how to do tsunamis, anyways? So anyway, um, yeah, I am aware of the storms, but I can't help you. I mean, of course I can, and of course I am, but at the same time I can't. Why can't I help you? Because you are not open minded enough. You don't have enough knowledge. You don't have enough understanding. You're most people don't have a level of understanding to figure out what's what, right? It's like when I had my radio station. When I had my radio station had really great music on it, really good music on it, and I'm a good host, and it's a good way. The radio station was a good way to weather the storm, right? Because that's what you do when there's a storm. When there's a storm, you weather it, right? So, which in alchemy, you have to understand that if there is a thing, then what you do with that thing is not disappear it. It's not destroy it. That's not what you do when you're an alchemist. You don't destroy things. An alchemist takes an element, i.e., the storm, and transfigures the energy from the storm and transforms it into something else, i.e., happiness, right? So when it's not easy to do because a storm is pretty savage, right? Anybody that knows what a storm is understand that a storm is pretty savage. It's a pretty savage thing, and you're being spiritually attacked and from a multitude of angles at the same time. That's why they call it a storm. That's why they're proud of themselves for doing that to people. And but to me, people have noticed from me gaming that the storm is not affecting me. No, the storm is affecting me. The storm is affecting me, but I don't let it affect me. I take the storm's energy and I flip it, right? So people are not opened enough to me to do that with me. right? They would rather find a way to do that themselves by themselves or something along those lines. I am not sure. But what I do know is that no matter amount of me repeating what I'm trying to do to people, it doesn't change anything. People still stay in their corners and they try to weather the storm. They batten down the hatches. They don't really weather the storm. They batten down the hatches and they isolate themselves. And they don't talk. They don't change their energy into something positive, right? Because that's the trick. When you're being attacked by a storm, this is how you defeat a storm. This is the trick of the storm, right? When the storm is trying to make you feel like a piece of shit, right? So what you do when the storm is trying to treat you like a piece of shit is that you change that energy. You take that energy and you be like, okay, you're trying to make me feel like a piece of shit. Well, instead of feeling like a piece of shit, I'm gonna feel even more like something great, right? And that's how you defeat the storm. But the thing is, storms are pretty powerful. So you can't always do that by yourself. And it's not necessarily that you can't do that by yourself, but if you were able to have other people with you weathering the storm at the same time, it would render the storm useless. That means the storm would evaporate. The twister would stop spinning. It would just go away and the skies would clear, right? And people are not willing to do that. Mostly the thing you have to understand is I feel like the people that are the most affected by storms or might be the most unstable, right? Dare I say. So anyways, um so if you are affected by this spiritual storm and no amount of you know tea drinking or fumigation or like smudging or there's nothing's gonna all that shit's not gonna work because the storm is attacking you from inside. It's not attacking you from outside, and it's not an outside influence that's attacking you. It's actually well, yes, it is a outside influence. Obviously, what am I saying? It is a outside influence, but there's different kinds of curses. And when the storm brews, you have to understand that it's attacking your insides and not your outsides. It's not trying to maim you, it's trying to hurt you. It's trying to hurt your feelings. It's trying to break your soul. It's trying to break your spirit. It's trying to break your psychology. It's trying to make you go crazy. It's trying to make you hurt yourself. It's trying to make you do something stupid. Right? So what is the polar opposite of feeling hurt or doing something stupid, right? Doing something opposite of those things, right? Make yourself feel good. Join somebody that's positive. Talk to somebody that's positive. Talk to somebody that's funny, right? Somebody that's humorous. Somebody that can make you laugh. And I don't suggest watching comedy shows. That's not gonna work because the storm is there too. Any media source is a weapon that can be used against you, right? So what you do, you have to be around people that have a good sense of humor. You have to be around people that have a good personality. You have to be around people that are positive, right? You have to be around people that agrees with your line of thinking. That's what you need to do when you're in a storm. But people are so filled to the brim with hurt and emotional damage no pun intended, they're so filled to the brim with emotional damage that they can't get themselves to actually do that. They can't get themselves to do that, right? And unfortunately, not everybody is willing to do that either. So let's segue, and that I feel like that's a perfect segue here, because here is the part where I'm gonna say you're right to not speak to me. This is the part where I agree with you not wanting to speak to me, because okay, so I just had a dream. I just went into the astral realm not too long ago. I just went into the astral realm, and the verdict is out, right? So I was shown a list of people. I was shown a list of people, a list of important people, right? And they all had nicknames. It was a report card. It was a yellow, old school Hogwarts report card, right? And I saw names. It was names of people and their vocation. It was names of people and their nickname, right? And the reason why I say Hogwarts, you're gonna understand here. There's a reason why I say Hogwarts, actually. Um, so at the end of the list, there was my name, and besides my name, there was uh, Severin Snapes, right? Severin Snapes is one of the teachers in Hogwarts, right? He's a Slytherin, right? So that was my nickname. But you have to understand, it's not because I look like him. It's because I might act like him. So this is the reason why you're right to not to be afraid to talk to me. This is the reason why you're right to feel what you're feeling about me, because yes, it's true, right? I'm a hard teacher. I'm a hard teacher. I'm not I don't pussyfoot around, right? I don't really pussyfoot around. I'm a hard teacher, and I don't um I do not accept mediocrity, right? I don't indulge in mediocrity. Like I don't like mediocre people. I don't really like. I like people that have a high level understanding. I like people that are aware of their surroundings, that understand things, that are capable of learning also, because not everybody's capable of learning, right? So I'm a stickler. I'm a stickler for the rules also, right? I'm a stickler for the rules because there are specific rules that you need to follow in order to perceive what you need to perceive. Because when you don't obey the law, and when I'm talking about rules and law, I'm talking about magic. I'm talking about magical rules and spiritual laws. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the law that the government put here or the law that the police. I'm not talking about those laws. I'm not talking about human laws. I'm talking about spiritual laws, because there are rules and regulations everywhere, even in hell, right? A lot of people think that they can escape rules and laws. Even chaos has laws. Chaos has a law. If you don't do this, then you're not chaotic. If you're not chaotic, then you're not chaotic, right? That's a law. You can't say you're chaotic when you're not chaotic, right? you know so you can't say you're Luciferian if you don't do Luciferian shit, right? So that's a rule. It's a law. The law dictates that if you want to be Luciferian, then you have to do Luciferian things. The law dictates that if you want to be a chaos magic user, then you have to do chaos magic. That's the law. That's a rule. You can't go above. You can't go above the law. It's impossible. If you go above those laws, then you're not what you say you are. at the end of the day, right? So, but a lot of these creatures on earth do not believe in rules, do not believe in laws, do not want to listen, right? So when you can't listen, when you can't abide by the law, abide by the rules, then you will not be the thing that you wish to be. Or you're not going to be the thing that you perceive yourself as being, right? So, yes, of course, I do have a lot of teachings, and they're not for everyone. You know, those teachings are not for everyone. It's not for everybody, and it's sad for me because from my perspective, it would seem like there is nobody willing to enjoy this class because I am a school of scolomancy. This is the school of scolomancy. I am the teacher of what is in hell, right? You know, the school of scolomancy is a very cool fucking school. It's a school, the school of scolomancy. If you're a vampire, but you want to be like Dracula, because not all vampires have superpowers. Not all vampires have superpowers. Some vampires just suck blood and that's it, or they just suck energy and that's it, right? They suck life force and that's the end of the day. They're like addicts. But when we're talking about like a man like Dracula, he's different, right? He's built different, right? He has a bunch of superpowers. He can fucking do a whole bunch of shit. But there's a reason why they call him the Prince of Darkness, because he went to scolomancy school to learn how to harness the darkness, right? So that's why Dracula is so much powerful, so much more powerful, and so much more different than other vampires, because he went to the school where the devil is your teacher. So now I'm a teacher in the school of scolomancy. And from my perspective, it would seem that nobody is willing to go to class, either out of fear, jealousy, resentment, anger, envy, all of the above. Maybe. Or maybe YouTube is not directing my videos towards people that are like me, that are interested in the same things that I'm interested in, right? So I give out a lot of boosts, I give out a lot of mental boosts. I give out a lot of spiritual boosters, which that's what I call them spiritual boosters. When you see me, when you see me talk about God, the way that I talk about it, it's actually if you accept it, if you believe in it, it's actually going to be a spiritual booster. It's not going to condemn you. It's going to be a spiritual booster, right? Of course, it's not for everyone, you know, because there's laws, right? You can't listen to a demonologist. You can't listen to a teacher in the school of scolomancy and not be in the school of scolomancy. Of course, you might be aware that there's a school of scolomancy, but it's dangerous to listen to a demonologist. It is dangerous to listen to a demonologist and not abide by the rules of the school, right? Because now you're leaving yourself open to spiritual attacks, right? Let's say you, let's say I talk about demonic tendrils, right? Which was one of my courses last year. Let's say I'm talking about demonic tendrils. Um, you might listen to it. You might think it's interesting. It might stay in your mind. But since you don't have the protection of the school, since you are not part of the school, then it's kind of like hanging out in the open. It's like being out in the open, right? With nothing and nobody to watch your back. So you could get attacked from every angle. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So these videos are not for everyone. Right? These videos are not for everyone. These teachings are not for everyone. And I'm also starting to realize it myself. You know, I have to start taking myself a little bit more seriously, which is unfortunate. Which is unfortunate because personally, I would rather give information out for free. I would like to give information out for free. I would like to give information out for free, uh, but I have to have some form of compensation for it too at the same time. So I can't just be giving out information for free at this present time and moment because not only is it going to be disregarded by a lot of because of misunderstandings, but it's also dangerous because like I said, if you're not a demonologist, if you're if you are a religious person or an atheist, then you are going to be afflicted with some sort of bad luck, right? You're going to be afflicted with some sort of bad luck. So yeah, the report card has just came in, and I'm Severus Snape's considered as a Severus Snape kind of archetype in the demonic world, which is absolutely fucking true because I'm very intolerant of people. Like I'm intolerant of people. I'm intolerant of people's way of thinking. And that can be intimidating for some people because Severus Snape is intimidating. Like the first time, like late when you get to know him, he's not that bad, but he's intimidating. He's an intimidating guy. Like he just walks around at night and with no light on. By the way, he just like he just walks around in complete darkness with no light on. But he's actually a good guy. He's a very good guy. He's actually very vulnerable. Like because he's a very vulnerable person. Actually, he's a very vulnerable person, and I am too. That's the worst part. I am a very vulnerable person. I walk around in total darkness. I'm a stickler for the rules. I don't consider my teachings to be a joke either. It's not a joke. It's almost life or death. It's not that dramatic, but at the same time, yes, it is. It is that dramatic because I might have a good attitude. I might pretend to have a happy go lucky attitude about all this, but it's because I know my teachings are powerful. I know that my words are powerful, so I know nothing bad is going to happen to you, right? But the only reason why something bad happens to you is if you don't listen to me, right? That's the only time bad things happen, when people don't listen to what I'm saying. So I'm very confident in my classroom. I'm ready. I'm very confident in my scholarship, right? So that's why I kind of tend to have this happy-go-lucky attitude, even though I'm saying things that might sound sad or you know like not negative, but just sad. They might be sad, but at the same times, those same words are the things that are protecting you. The same sadness, just like Slytherin and Snape, that same sadness that I speak of is actually the same thing that's protecting you. That's removing the bad energies from you, because knowledge is power. And maybe you don't realize that what you're being given at this present time and moment is knowledge, but it doesn't matter because your subconscious can differentiate bullshit from knowledge, right? So your brain is gonna eat up the apple. Your pineal gland is going to, your gray matter, your monster, your beholder that you have in your skull that we call a brain, has a mouth, and it eats knowledge and it consumes knowledge, and then it has, because the brain actually is a monster that has its own organism, right? You have to understand that the brain has its own organism, and it eats, the more knowledge it eats, the stronger it becomes, right? So at the end of the day, that's why I'm not worried. That's why I have this happy-go-lucky attitude about what I'm saying, and that's why I'm not worried, because I know that even though you reject me, even though you reject what I'm saying, it doesn't matter, because your brain is going to eat the good parts. Even if I was saying bullshit, your brain is going to eat the good parts. The brain is going to consume, because that's the thing. When you eat food, let's say you eat fast food, right? There's still nutritious values in the fast food. There might not be a lot, but your body is still going to absorb the nutritious values, which means, what I mean by that is, when you're eating fast food, right, that is not good for you, you're not going to throw it up immediately, right? You're not going to immediately throw up the food. That's why you get fat, because you're consuming what can be consumed. Your body does that by itself. It's not you. You're not commending your body to, okay, I'm gonna eat this burger now. Just take the good parts and accept, just throw away the bad parts, right? And your body does both. Your body does both naturally. That's why you go take a shit after you're done eating. That's the bad parts of what you ate that you're dropping in the bowl. But the good parts of what you ate are still inside of you. So it's the same thing with your brain, right? So if I have knowledge and I give you the knowledge, you might not like the knowledge. You might think the knowledge is devastating. You might think the knowledge is condemning. You might think the knowledge is this. You might think the knowledge is that. But it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. If your brain is going to eat the apple regardless of what you do. If you watch this video, if you watch any of my videos, your brain is going to eat the apple. You might not want to eat the apple. You might reject the apple. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you do. You're still going to eat the fucking apple. If you watch the video, of course. If you don't watch it, then of course you're not going to, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much it. On that note, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.